I fucking hate how the gaming media can be at times. I, I, I you know what? Before I start this rant, I want to at least give out factual news. At a quick minute or something that I even wrote in a slip of flashcard. Here's the factual news. If you didn't get this from IGN, N4G, whatever the hell it may be, hell, you haven't even mentioned it from Review Check USA or Broken Games HG. You haven't mentioned it at all. Here's the news. If you didn't know, Sony lost $1.1 billion. If you want to translate it again, it is 110 billion yen. They fired 5,000 people. They split their TV and PC division, and they are selling their PC division. $1.1 billion. That's a lot of fucking money. That's a lot more than what Dr. Evil would off that he wanted to get in the Austin Powers movies. That's a lot of money. Now, why would I mention Sony's latest financial report? Because very few big sites for games like IGN, GameSpot even mention the thing. The funny thing is, IGN briefly mentioned the whole thing. But you know what? In that article, which is a link in the description below, but if you already saw it, you know what I'm talking about. They twisted the whole financial situation of how the PlayStation, like the PlayStation brand was, sales went up, and they briefly mentioned the 5,000 people, job loss within, the heading of the article, instead of, actually putting it within the title of the fucking article. And also not mentioning the $1.1 billion they freaking lost. They twisted the fucking news and just mentioned PlayStation. Mostly mentioned it from what the article's entire point was. And so is GameSpot, but I'm mostly thinking of the IGN article right now because of how bullshit it is. And if any of you saw Shokio's latest video of how a lot of articles that were, trying to get approved by the N4G biased fucking community that it has, and how a lot of them were just twisting the whole subject to even not allowing it to be, circulating throughout that network. But hey, if it has anything to do with Nintendo losing $1.1 billion in their financial losses, you would see that shit in your fucking Facebook feed, your Twitter feed, Google, especially Google+. If you go into the official PlayStation and Xbox community groups in Google+, you will see so many of these fanboys, I'm not gonna say fans, these are fanboys, fucking trolls, right? And how they are mentioning a company other than the one that was, pointed to the freaking group. Because, for one, they wanted to soak it in how it's fun to see a company who, needs something to see them suffer. And it's funny, whenever I mention, or when many people like Shokio mention this $1.1 billion loss, and how some people will be like, what? They lost money? The PS3 lost, Sony lost money from the PS3? And stuff like that. This is what the gaming media has done. It favored one fucking group of a company, and that is Sony. That is fucking bull. And you know what? Let me get off of Nintendo's stick for this, and let me go into Microsoft's. The recent resolution gate term, if I'm putting it right. And how whenever the PlayStation fanboys want to commit themselves to how when their multi-plat of choice of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition runs in 1080p, 60 frames per second, but then when the Xbox One version is lower than that, they immediately go into this dick measuring contest of how, oh, we have the better version, suck off Xbox or whatever the hell it may be. But the funny thing is, when that same fucking situation occurs with what was it, that Victorian shooter, I can't remember the name of it, it's like the 4 kind of it's like a PlayStation 4 exclusive, The Order, yeah, The Order, right? Like, when you, like, I know you have to heard the news of The Order not having any multiplayer whatsoever, and it'll be 30 frames per second. These fucking fanboys within the Sony community will be like, I'd say okay, as long as I get my game. Games don't even need to be on online multiplayer. Doesn't need to be. But yet, what these exact same fucking people are doing, they are twisting the fucking facts, and they are getting away. They are putting their head in the sand and just damage controlling. That is what damage controlling is, people. When you don't even talk about the situation, or when you twist the situation to your own fucking advantage. That is fucking damage controlling. And these are what these freaking fanboys of Sony is. And the funny thing is, let me get into another rant over here of how these big ass, or, you know, big ass, like in more than 10,000 or so people subscribe to their channels, right? Review Tech USA, Broken Games HD, or hell, Gamer2323, any of those sites, any of those channels on YouTube, right? Whenever they mention of Nintendo, immediately they'll be like, yeah, Nintendo needs to go third party, oh yeah, they need to, you know, cancel the Wii U and make a new powerful like essentially a PS4. For Nintendo. Like, that's gonna do any good, or how they need to get rid of the gamepad and just slap in the Pro Controller. Like, that's the main reason why the Wii U's not selling. Yeah, because they needed to put this shit in. Or any of the other kind of crap. Or hell, when they mention their financial situation, they are freaking armchair analysts would be like, I know what Nintendo needs to do. They need to go mobile. Whatever kind of fucking logic they have to put into this. Whatever kind of fucking logic that puts into this. But yet, when it's something for Microsoft, and especially fucking Sony, they don't mention it at all. It's like they never heard it. Or when they do talk about it, they're gonna twist the fucking news, just like how IGN did with that fucking article. That is freaking bullshit. If you're going to mention one company or two companies of the big 3 console manufacturers, right, and their financial situation, you need to fucking talk about the other one. If you mostly talk about Nintendo shit, shut the fuck up about it and just talk about Microsoft and Sony's financial problem. Well, not Microsoft especially, because, you know, the PC, but in their games division. Alright? This is something I need to defend over, because I am fucking sick of seeing this shit. I am sick of seeing this shit. That is all.